Hi, parents. Thanks for coming and getting a new tip. I just read the book Tornadoes to my kids, which is, a very big storm. So I thought since we were talking about big storms that I would work on yelling and what it does to kids and maybe rethink if you're a yeller, if it's really helping. So I want to tell you about my experience with yelling. And I want you to know that if you're a parent that has yelled at your kids, guess what? And I think you are just part of the big, you're part of a big group of people that have used their voice in a way that has been not very kind. And it's because we run out of patience or we're exhausted. When you're yelling, it means you're not real pleased with an outcome or with something that's happening with your kids. Maybe your kids are yelling at each other. Maybe they're making a mess. And man, we just aren't prepared for that thing that happened. And we get mad. We get angry. And I think it's a normal reaction. I don't think you should be mad at yourself. You might be a bit disappointed. But the reason why I want to talk about yelling is is in my experience, because I was a yeller. Not so much anymore. It's kind of a hard topic because I'm admitting to you that I've yelled at my kids, but I just want to tell you that it's normal. My youngest daughter told me that when I yell at her, it triggers a feeling and it reminds her of a time that she was really scared one time. And it was because I was yelling. And that hurts my heart. And I love my kids with all my heart. I love them so much. So I've yelled because I've been angry before. I've been mad, and I haven't understood why my kids are doing what they're doing and repeating this behavior over and over again. Why can't you clean your room like you said you would? Or why, and the yelling just doesn't help, because as soon as you send your child to that place where they're scared, they're now thinking about something completely different. And they are not at all excited to help you about anything you want. Now they're like, wow, I've just really made my mom mad. What did I do to make her so mad? And I'm a really tall person, and so I'm a little bit intimidating. Adults are intimidating to kids. I've been working on that a really long time, and I don't yell at my kids anymore. And I make a choice to stay calm. I make a choice to take a minute and breathe. And I think I have more patience than my kids, first of all. I need to use that skill of being more patient. I also need to remember that they are also human and they make mistakes. And I need to make sure that, I'm in a good space. If I'm going to tell my kids something, I'm going to make sure that I have control of me. And I just have to tell you, there is nothing out there in the world that's worth yelling about. Yes, I get irritated when their shoes are left on the floor all the time, or their backpacks are where they're not supposed to be, or that they don't clean up their mess after they've done an art project. But there simply is no reason to yell about it. So I just walk in. I don't yell across the house anymore. I walk to the room and I say, hey, Katie, can you do me a favor and go clean up your art mess? I'd really appreciate it. Okay, Mom. She usually says, okay, Mom. And when they were little, When I was in a good mood, most of the time I was in a good mood, and I would, use my nice words. It was only now and then that I yelled. I didn't yell that often. I'm not like, this horrible person. I'm a really good person. But, there is just a point where your patience just falls away and you run out of patience, and then you get angry because you've had to say something one too many times. Now, safety-wise, if my kids are playing out in the front yard and they're playing too close to the street where the cars are, I'm going to remind them, hey, get back up here. That's different. For safety, it's different. But I need you guys to go to a place where your expectations are talked about and discussed. So let me see. Why we don't do yelling, why we don't yell is because our kids have a trigger where eventually they get scared. And we don't want them to think about being scared while we're trying to help our kids. And what it does to our kids is it makes them scared. It makes them nervous. And then it becomes a thing where they're always nervous because they don't want you to get to that point. And then they're like, and they have these reactions which are like, and as a parent, you don't ever want to see that because it's clearly you've done something that makes them feel like they have to be scared of you. And you don't want that. You don't want that. So, take deep breaths when you find yourself becoming impatient. Tell your partner you need a few minutes, not too long. If you've put your child in a timeout because you guys are yelling at each other, go calm yourself down. Put the timer on, go back. And you can apologize too. I noticed that I raised my voice and it might have scared you, and I'm sorry. But I was disappointed that you didn't, do your 1, 2, or 3 things, and I got frustrated. So you can own your behavior as well. Us parents, we are not perfect, but if you want your respect, you probably want them to say sorry for what they did first. And then they know that you were trying to hold your ground because you are the boss of the house. You are in charge. Yeah. Parents are in charge. Take charge, parents. But yelling is not the way to do it, okay? And I've learned my own hard way, and I'm sharing it with you. And it doesn't help. Oh, and I just have to tell you too, the other sad thing is if you yell, then eventually your kids will yell and they will become yellers because it's all they know. So if you are one of those sweet parents that are just running out of patience, look into ways to be more patient. And I know that some of my videos are about being patient, but taking deep breaths, walking away, calling a little time out and telling your partner that you need a minute, taking a family time out and saying, hey, it seems like everybody's a little frustrated. Let's talk about it. And I just do a family time out and we talk about things. And then if you say you have the conversation in a timeout when no one's mad anymore, like maybe an hour later, after you've yelled at each other, go take the time to just have a reflective moment and say, I'm noticing that I got upset and angry when, and I ended up yelling. And I know you guys don't like it when I yell. So is there a way you can help me not get to yelling? I don't want to yell. I don't want to yell anymore. I want it to be something that I break the habit of. And guess what? Your kids will help you. You will be so amazed. They really want you to be a happy parent. They like to please you. So, but you have to admit that you need help. And it was something it was easy to break for me because it was not something I wanted to do anymore. So, and that was quite a while ago. And I'm not saying I'm perfect now because there are times when I have to say, hey, we have to separate because we're not getting along right now. And we get real close, but I'm like, no, I don't want to talk like that. I don't want to talk like that. I need a minute. And then I just hold off on yelling. So this is an important one, you guys, and I'm so sorry I went over the 5 minutes, but this is worth it. And, I don't want your kids to become yellers, and I don't want them to be mad or upset and have triggers that spark something that makes them scared in you with your parenting. So I haven't tried a hard one like this yet. I know I've talked about timeouts and how to do a proper timeout, but this is a hard one because this means that you do something that is not the greatest for your kid, and we want to make sure that we're parents that use our words and model using our words. And you can say that you've had hurt feelings. You can say that it hurts my feelings when you don't listen to me the first time. Because I know parents can get really mad when their kids don't want to turn off their video game, or they don't want to stop watching TV, and they're not listening. They're not coming to the dinner table after 5 times. What's going on? It's called first time obedience. You listen to me the first time. So if you keep just saying these nice things that are all about respect, I'm in charge. Can you point to mom, please? I'm your mom. I'm in charge. And you sometimes will have to turn off a TV without them being happy about it. That's not yelling, though. And you did get their attention. So this is a hard one. Really kind of look at yourself and say, am I a yeller? If I'm a yeller, I want to work on it. Because our kids need us. They need us to stay away from that yelling piece. And I was so glad my daughter was able to verbalize that my yelling makes her feel a certain way. And it helped me a lot. It helped me see my weakness. And I got to work on my weakness for my child. And Alyssa, she didn't like it either, but she just always stayed neutral. She didn't tell me about it, but then she agreed. She agreed with her sister. And I have 2 kids, so, and they don't want to upset me. They are not trying to make me mad. They're not trying to, they're testing their boundaries because they're growing up, but they're not trying to make me mad. They love me like crazy. So we're going to learn together, and it's okay to make mistakes. Parenting is the hardest job you're ever going to do. So if you do something that needs improvement, give yourself grace and say, okay, I'm going to work on that. And if your kids tell you something, listen to them, because they could be your teacher. That's the great thing about being a parent. We get better every day. So I hope this helps you. I know it was a hard topic to talk about, but it went perfect with my book. We want to keep that tornado out of the house. Okay. Parents, you're doing a great job. I appreciate you so much. It's a really hard job, but you're doing a great job. Pat yourself on the back, and I'm here for you if you need anything. And thanks for learning from me with me, because it's a special feeling to be able to help each other. So great job. Have a great weekend. I'm about to be on a weekend. I'm excited. Please stay safe and stay healthy. Bye. No yelling. Bye.